All right, guys, here's your video I promised you, and you promised me to watch it. So thank you for not telling me a fib. All right, so let's look at this picture right here. So we have one angle that's 120 degrees, right? Well, the first question is, what is the measure of angle X? Well, angle X is vertical. Remember, vertical angles to angles measured 120 degrees. So angle X is 120 degrees. Okay. The next question is, what is the measure of angle Y? Well, what relationship does this angle and this angle have in common? Well, they form a straight line, right? If they form a straight lines are always 180 degrees. So I bet you already know the answer. 180 degrees minus 120 degrees means that angle Y is 60 degrees. If angle Y is 60, obviously this one's the same letter, which means it's also 60 degrees. All right, let's look at number 1 here at the bottom. So we have, this one's labeled 80 degrees. The first question is, what is the measure of angle B? Okay, what's the relationship between these two angles? They're supplementary. So supplementary angles are equal 180 degrees when we add them together. So angle B is 100 degrees. And then here's, I guess, the one I wanted to make sure I got to. The measure of, or what is the value of M? Well, a couple of different things we could do. We would know that 100 degrees plus this angle has to be 180 total, right? The other thing that we know is that angle that's measured 80 degrees is vertical to M plus 30, which means they're equal. So in order to solve for M, I'm going to set M plus 30 equal to 80 degrees. They're vertical, which means they're equal. So if this is 80, the total of this must also be 80. So to solve for M, I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides of the equal sign. And it tells me that M is equal to 50. So what is the measure of the letter M? The measure of letter M is 50, because 50 degrees plus 30 degrees equals 80 degrees. All right? All right. And I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make sure I got to those examples. Now, just a reminder, we didn't really talk too much about alternate interior and alternate exterior. So remember, alternate means opposite sides of the transversal. So here's the transversal. The two angles have to be on the opposite sides of that line. Interior angles means angles that are inside the parallel lines. So 1 and 2 are alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are always congruent. Always congruent. That's what I just said. What about alternate exterior angles? Alternate, once again, they're always congruent. The word alternate means opposite sides of the transversal, and exterior angles means outside the parallel lines. Okay, so this is an example of alternate exterior angles. All right, so here's some crazy pictures right here. So we have two parallel lines, M and N are parallel, which means which is the transversal. So line T is the transversal. That's the line that crosses two parallel lines. So you should be able to give me every single degree of this picture based on just the one. So do you know what the measure of angle C is? It's 150 degrees because these two angles are vertical. They're across from each other and they're equal. All right, what about angle A? Can you tell me what angle A is? Well, hopefully you noticed that angle 150 and angle A form a straight line, which means that these two angles are supplementary and that angle A must be 30 degrees. If angle A is 30 degrees, angle F is 30 degrees because they're corresponding angles, also 30 degrees. Well, what about angle G? Angle G is 150 because it corresponds to angle C. What about angle E? Angle E is 30 because it's supplementary to angle G. And since G and D are vertical angles, this one's also 150 degrees, which only leaves letter B, which is 30 degrees. All right. Okay, so then down here we have this crazy looking picture, but we see two parallel lines, which means that this is a transversal, right? This is a transversal. It also means that this would be a transversal. This one would also be a transversal. So, but let's look at the one that I've highlighted red. So we know that alternate interior angles are congruent. So alternate interior angles, 78 would be congruent to the alternate interior angle, which would be all of this together. All of this together would be the alternate interior angle to 78. Do you understand? So since this little section right here is 20 degrees, it means the rest of this, or angle X, would have to be what? Would have to be 58 degrees. Okay, because this and this whole angle are alternate interior angles and they're congruent. So 78 has got to be equal to this section that's 20 degrees plus X. So if I want to solve for X, I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. And that tells me that X is 58 degrees. All right, guys. So you guys, good luck with your assignment for this week. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Good to see you guys today. Thank you for being so willing to be good participants. I appreciate that. Everyone have a great day, and I will check on you later.